Hey guys, this is Michael, and today is going to be my first kind of overview slash tutorial of Photoshop CS6. I just got this today and I've been playing around with it a lot and been figuring out the new things, and so I just wanted to go over like the big improvements they've made and the new tools they've added. So let's jump right into this. The first thing you'll notice for sure is the whole interface is changed to be darker. I personally like this because I like working on a darker canvas, so I think that's really a good change, and everything looks more professional and streamlined. So instead of being the white with like gray logos and things, it's changed to the more like grayscale with the white different tools and the menus and everything. Those are all white. So then the next thing we're going to jump into is the tools. Now the tools are all the same on here, except we have a few new ones. We have the content aware move tool, and then the crop tool and perspective crop tool. Those have both been improved, and those two are like the biggest improvements. And then the next thing we're going to look at is in filters. In filters, first off, we have the blur settings. The new things that have been added is field blur, iris blur, and tilt shift, and I'm just going to show you the one that I like the best, which is the iris blur. So what you can see here on this picture, I have my fingerboard right here, and there is a little bit of depth of field. You can see over here with a little bit of blurriness on the top and this right top corner, but the rest of it, a lot of it's in focus, and I wanted to make it look a little bit more cinematic and take out some of this focus. So what we're going to do is make sure you have your image selected, and then just go to filter, and we're going to try the iris blur tool out. Now when you get in here, it's going to create this first big ring, and you're going to want to drag this over the thing that you want to put in focus, and we can always make more of these. So you can just resize it by pulling it down, and I'm going to do it about that big, and then you can stretch it out to cover the area you want. So I just want this board in focus for now. I'll drag down this top just a little bit there. Alright, so after we have that done, you can just pull out these little white circles, and that's gonna change like the vanishing point of it, so that'll bring anything inside those circles would be totally in focus. So as you can see, the wheel, the bottom wheel is now it's in focus, and you see a little bit of the shadows in focus. And this wheel in the middle, if you drag it more, it changes the blur. So if I keep it right there, it's like all the way blurred. I like to put it on 12. I found 12 is like really perfect, unless you want to do like some really dramatic effect. I think 12 really does the trick. It's nice and blurry, and if you want just a light effect, you can do more of like an 8 around there. So I'm going to put it at 12, and then I'm going to even create a new one. So if you want to create a new one, you just click anywhere on the screen. It comes with a little push pin, and then we have our circle again. And you can just drag this wherever you want. I'm going to put it over this text I have here, banana wood. And then I'm going to resize this, and you can make it as small as you want, as big as you want, and you can rotate it, as you can see it's doing right now. So I'm just going to drag this in. Okay. And now I just got to rotate it, if I can get it to rotate. That's about good. So now, this is just for tutorial sake, but this shows you can't achieve this effect with a real camera. You can't get like two things really in focus well, unless you do some crazy like, I don't know, some crazy like effects with it. But this is going to be your best bet, is to use this tool, and then you're going to keep everything inside of it in focus. So you can see the banana wood is focused and the board is in focus, and the rest is all out of focus. So it looks really nice cinematic effect. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is the I'm going to click OK, the adaptive wide angle lens. So I'm going to go to a different picture here, and this is the loading for the blur. This is going to be a long video, by the way. I just want to go over these big effects so you guys can learn these new things. And if you haven't gotten Photoshop CS6 yet, I would definitely recommend it because it really is a big improvement. Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is the adaptive wide angle lens. I'm going to use a picture of New York City because I can get some good like kind of fisheye wide angle look to it. So I'm going to go to adaptive wide angle. It's under the filter menu. And this is going to bring up a whole new screen. And what you do is you take like from your like kind of vanishing point, and then you just drag a line out to the side, and you see it automatically starts adjusting it. And so it just adjusted that one, and you'll start to see it a lot more as I continue to put a few more lines. You don't want to put too many. 3 to 4 is usually best. See how it's kind of squishing it in more, so you can see the vanishing point, and it's more dramatic. So I found if you kind of angle them more up a little bit, you get more of an effect. And then we'll just put one down here. And I have it on the fisheye setting up in this right corner. And you can always change the setting to perspective, auto, or full spherical, which is more like a really dramatic fisheye effect. But perspective is good too. I've been using that also. So that's what that does. This is really good for people that use Photoshop primarily for photo editing. Next, we're going to move on to 3D. Now, I'm just going to show you quickly how to make 3D text, but I'm not going to go through a lot of things because if you don't have a really fast computer, the 3D program in here can crash really easily, which really, I think that's kind of Adobe's fault. They really shouldn't make it just for the high-end computers. It should be able to work on all the computers that run Photoshop. So I'm just going to put in some simple text and just show you how to make it 3D, and then I'll probably do another tutorial on how to like specifically do different things. So I'm just gonna put in Trace Designs, and we're just gonna make the color darker. There we go. Alright, so there's our text. Nice font, Decker font. And now what we're gonna do is go to our marquee tool. You don't have to, you could either go to 3D and then you can just right click on it and go to new 3D extrusion from selected layer, or you can go to 3D and then just go new 3D extrusion from selected layer. So you have to select the text layer, and you can do this with not just text, you can do it with different things. So now you're going to click yes to make it a workspace into 3D. Now we're not going to apply any effects because last time I did this it actually crashed, so we don't want it to crash again. So now you see it's kind of like a Cinema 4D look, and this is what it's going to look like. Now you can change the different perspectives in here just like C4D, and on the right over here is where you have all your shadow, softness, caps, everything like that. That's going to be a separate tutorial, as I said, so we're going to move on, but that is how you get 3D objects into the render system. Okay, now the next one I have for you is going to be video editing, and I'll also be doing a separate tutorial on this. Now I have a Minecraft video right here, and when I play this, if it's lagging, it's not your screen, it's probably just mine, because when I record this it lagged a lot. So you're going to go down here to timeline, and usually it's going to be default like small like that. You're going to double click it, and if you don't have a video in, you can just go to File, Open, and just import a video. It'll take a second for Photoshop to bring it in. And what's really cool about this, it's a lot like Sony Vegas, but it's kind of simplified more. So this really isn't for big video editors. This is for people that are new to video editing, just want to try out some new software and just want to do some basic like effects. So I think this is really good. If you're new to making like tutorials and speed arts, you can definitely do that in here. As far as the editing part, not the recording, the editing part, you can definitely do that in here, because I've noticed if you right click on the video on the clip down here, you can bring up the speed all the way up to 400%. Usually I have to go higher than that, but you can still bring up the speed, so that's a really good option if you're going to make speed arts. And then tutorials, this will also be good because you can put in some simple watermarking effects, and this will be in a separate video tutorial. But some of the options you have here, if you click on your clip, you notice the timeline is a lot like Sony Vegas, a lot like After Effects, but it's more of a Sony Vegas style, to be honest. And then if you right click on it, you're going to have the video option, and you're going to have the audio option. Now you can bring the audio volume up, you can fade it in, you can fade it out at a certain time, or you can mute it like I have it muted right now. And then if you want to do some transitions, what you do is you click right on this little square kind of gradient button, and we're just going to do fade with black, and duration we're just going to put it to 4 seconds. And let's see, I think we need to, yep, you drag it right on. Perfect, drag it on. And I'm just going to play this. It's going to be a little laggy, but you can see it's starting to fade to black, and as it gets to the end, it keeps getting darker. And really, this should only be like 2 seconds. You should only do this for 2 seconds. I don't know why I put it so long. But that's the idea of it. There's the fading, and this is the main thing about this video editing that's really cool. Over here on the right, we have the layers section, and what makes this really unique is you can actually just take the layers from Photoshop you're using and just input them right into here. So if I had like a gradient layer, I can just put this gradient layer like right over the video. So let me get an example for you. Okay, sorry about that. Now I got this layer in here, right here, a hue and saturation layer. And so to put it on top of the video, if you don't already have it in there, you're going to click on this little film reel option, go to new video group, make sure it's dragged above. And then you're going to take this hue and saturation and you can just place it right on top of the track. Alright, so now that the layers are in here, you can just unhide them and see I have like a black and white layer. If I set that to overlay, you can see it creates like a more contrast. And then the hue and saturation layer up top here, if I go to the hue and saturation and I bring it up over here, make it more like different colors, a little bit darker, higher saturation, see how it changes it. So all the layers that you use in Photoshop, such as the text layer, will also appear on your video. So you can keyframe everything and just make it look all good. So that's the text effect, and then that's the video effect, sorry about that. And then the next thing that I'm gonna show you, which is the biggest, I think one of the biggest improvements, is going to be the content aware move tool. This is kind of like the crop, like kind of like you're cropping out something and moving it around, but what it allows you to do is not have to like zoom in to a few 100% and get precisely everywhere and then copy and paste and repatch it up with like the healing tool. So what you're gonna do is go onto default is the patch tool, and then just go to content aware move. Then I have an image right here, and I'm just gonna drag around this the sky hanging thing, and just drag around it. Drag around your object, doesn't matter what object. It works best if it's kind of not too close, because if it's really close you can see some of the marks that have been like removed and stuff, but this one should work good. So now all you have to do is drag it. I'm just gonna drag it up to here, and then it'll render it, and look at this. Now it's not there anymore and it looked perfect. You can't even tell that it was there, and it's up here. Now it does have a little bit of flaws, that like the white got removed and stuff like that, but it still does work really good. I saw a tutorial on it and you can move different things around. I saw a few cars being moved around and things like that, and it's pretty much like you're using the one patch tool to take out like people and just putting in like the image. So really you can just drag things off the screen and it'll patch up that area. So I really like that one also. So all these effects, I'll put the different names of them in the description of what you can do, and look for tutorials on the video and 3D pretty soon. The next tutorial, definitely I gotta get the series finished up with the website tutorial, but after that I'll be doing a lot of CS6 stuff. So yeah, and hopefully the next video will actually be the starting of my Minecraft series. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's been pretty long, but a lot of useful tips on Photoshop CS6, so I definitely recommend you download this. So if you like this, please leave a thumbs up and favorite this, and also follow this series because this is going to be a show series, so look for that also. So thanks for watching. See you guys later. And also guys, if you guys could just go down to my subscription box and check out Kick TV. They're a really cool soccer channel or football channel, depending where you live. So if you could subscribe to them, please, that'll really help me out because that's part of my partnership contract to promote them for a little bit. So if you could do that, that'd be really awesome. So thanks.